Dun da 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 da. Da, 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 da. There we go. Now we're streaming. Hello, Hail Mary, meet everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. It's the 27th of July, 2021. And of course, I finally get some decent sleep. Thank God. Alright, so, as I said before I realized I didn't start the recording, it is Tuesday. And on Thursday, Friday. It's Tuesday, 2 days. Thursday. I got my hair retouched. Yay! My hair is not doing too bad, except it's getting long enough that I'm having to use a lot of hairspray. I'm not really heavily into hairspray and aka hair lacquer. I really tend to stay away from this stuff. But yeah, the hair is growing like a weed. 100%. Just taking off. But right now it's the morning. There's nobody here yet. Just got on here. Just got on here. Give it some time, Michelle. I'm sure everybody else is just starting to get out of bed. It's true. Yeah. People do look forward to the show. We know that. Millennial Autist contacted Michelle and me and asked if we're still streaming. The answer is yes. We are still streaming, and we can attest to because you're watching us live. And we got one playback already. Okay. We got one playback. So somebody came in and left. Probably one of the dislike trolls. Oh. Yeah. Well, at least the second one seems to be staying around a little longer. Some people are starting to watch it. So what is a good topic for today? I don't know. Just generally, I don't know. Let's talk about Ancestry.com for a second. And, okay, not specifically that one site, but, yeah, genealogy. What's it like to find out of your family history? I actually know that your father did try to do some of it himself. That was before the computer. And he found my history. Our family history is a mixed bag. We got Norwegian, we got British, we got German, we got Italian. Yeah. Now, do the DNA tests, you could find out we have a whole bunch of motley crew of genetics in our history of our family. Right. So yeah, it's an interesting idea. I mean, the question is how many people in our family, or how many different ancestries does our family cover? I mean, Delaney isn't that exactly the most common name in the world. If you look at the Norwegian definition, it's valley dweller. Hills and dales. Yeah, we have the British in us from Eastern UK. We have the Norwegian. We have probably a little bit of We have German. We have probably a little bit of Swedish. Obviously, of course, I'm Swedish technically. Yeah, you are. Yeah, I mean, my family moved to Kampi when I was very young, so I actually consider myself Finnish. At the time, you guys were a duchy of Sweden at that time. Yeah. Okay, so theoretically, you were Swedish, but you were a duchy. Yeah. And then later on, we ended up under the control of the Tsar Nicholas of Russia, which a lot of people didn't like, and there was a lot of people protesting that. And then, of course, in the Winter War of 1911, Finland basically fought against Russia and basically told Russia that they didn't want to be part of the Russian Empire. So, yeah, we basically broke away and told them basically no more. And then you guys fought against the Russians in World War II and World War One. Yeah. Very interesting history. Yeah, so it would ancestry. I mean, I some people love to talk about it. Some people hate it. I don't know. So let's get started here. Craig Senior said, Michelle, so good to see you. Happy Tuesday morning to you. It will be 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, I know it's gonna be hot. I that's a great question. I don't know if we have any Jewish ancestry. It's not impossible. I'm not exactly sure what defines a person who's Jewish ancestry, considering the fact that the Jewish group come from different countries. I mean, you got both the people from Israel, i.e., those that were born and raised Jewish, and then you have Jews in other countries like Germany and stuff that were born native Germans, but they also are of the Jewish religion. So, but my family religion is primarily was Lutheran. I am the first Catholic in over 300 years. And so and then my sister's Catholic now by marriage. So I'm still the first. Still the first. Yeah. Good morning, Gianni. How you doing? Skunky, happy Tuesday to you. It's gonna be good to see Rosie's live last night. It was really great. Got to give it to her. She's got some energy. I wish I had that much. Craig, we all know when you get older, your energy kind of is like a lithium-ion battery pack. You could take so many charges before basically you need to go to a shop and be replaced. That's an interesting way of looking at it. It's true. After a while, your battery don't hold the charge anymore, so then you need to go ahead and co-op, okay, and go. Excuse me, can I turn myself in for a new battery replacement? This one's done. Oh, God. Let me get caught back on some messages I missed here. Michelle, so good to see you. Happy Tuesday morning to you. It will be 88 degrees today, partly cloudy with no rain. Well, okay, that's good. I mean, I really couldn't care less about the rain. I hate rain anyway, but we need it. So, I mean, well, we got plenty. And we can send some of them to the western United States, which really needs a good super soaker. Monica, hello, if you're in here, happy to see you too. She probably will be. She's probably just waking up and having her coffee. That's what she said to me, is that she was just starting to get up. Andrew said, good day, Michelle in chat. Andrew, happy Tuesday to you. The main people are here already. Hey, Craig, happy Tuesday to you too. Michelle, do you read? Yes, I do when I get started. It takes me a bit to get everything caught up. So, yes, I do read the side chat. Like Michelle likes to do a bit of an intro beforehand, right? Michelle, look at the side chat. You already have people in here. No, okay, well, I'm here now, so. Good morning, Michelle, Lumi, and chat. I posted you a message in the NASQ support group. Since you have access to Ancestry.com, I wondered if you could look something up for me. Should do an Amara video. No. Let's see, towards the end was great. on a roll. That was the funny part. So, Andrew, it's good for you to have rain. I know California, Arizona, the western states are very seriously water problems right now. I know someone lives there. It is becoming a big issue. Yeah, and San Diego is one of the areas of California that does have a desalination plant. Now, I know desalination is not the end all of all the problems, but it's better than no water at all. If you can extract fresh water out of salt water, that can make a big difference for a city. Because the people over there in California, in areas that have desalination plants, can actually get the drinking water they need for the cities. It doesn't do crap for the farms, though, because the problem with the farmers is, number one, then they have to buy it by the truck of water. And also, desalination plants cost a lot of energy to run. They're not low energy. Rain has been a bit scarce in a lot of places this summer, even more than usual. I have noticed the last few summers. Yeah, even in the winter times, snow hasn't exactly been like everywhere either. It's hard to make snow when you don't have moisture. Now, yeah, so we need more. We need to definitely get some more snow. Did you know that once the temperature drops below a certain point in the wintertime, it's almost impossible to make snow? Despite what you might think. Um, we're not to jump to drink. Exactly. That's why the desalination plants are important, because you're right, we have water locked up in things like industrial processes that we can't drink because it's already contaminated with chemicals that are dangerous to us humans. Isn't the industrial age wonderful? Mm-hmm. For example, I mean, there's water in your car battery. Don't expect me to go drink a AC Delco. I don't want sulfuric acid down my throat. um, tell me what you think. I noticed you got some things on the Discord. Yeah. Well, because Monica shared some things with me about her family. I wanted to know if she could look up my family, because she probably has access to the full ancestry.com. That's not gonna make me hit a paywall. If she could look some things up, it would be really interesting to see what she can find. You're probably right there. I wish I had more energy. My mind is willing, but my body is not. Yeah, I know. My knees like that. I can only walk so far before it's ouch, 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 ouch time, and then I have to basically park it and then rest for like about a minute, 2 minutes, and get up and get on my way. It's not like I was, you know. That's one of the reasons why I kind of, playing World of Warcraft kind of makes me sad, because it reminds me of my halcyon years when I was younger, healthier, and more able to walk great distances without pain. But then, like my ex girlfriend said, you basically wearing your joints out. Well, unfortunately, Patty, I ain't got a choice, because I don't have a car. So I have to do everything on foot. So that means walking, running, getting chores, groceries, you name it. Um, yeah. Well, you know what? We talked about CRISPR. I'm gonna just briefly, let's get back to CRISPR for a second. What if we have developed a way to reverse aging? one of the biggest problems is, what are we going to do with an exploding population? I mean, you want to make everybody younger again? What are you going to do with all the people that basically procreate like rabbits? I mean, you're going to be honest here. Younger people are going to want to have, fun. And when they do, all of a sudden there's going to be new bun in the oven. And then all of a sudden the population of the world explodes. It already is up to about 9 billion. Is it 9 billion people? Something like that? It's like, holy crap. You're like, what are you going to do with the. So if we could all turn ourselves young again, how do we expand for room? The only thing I can think of is that's where we need to get this. We need to go to other planets and fast. Hi, Nix. How you doing? So, Monica, are you feeling up to coming on the panel this morning? Andrew, how about you? Panel's open. No. It's disgusting now. Yeah. All hailing frequencies are open. Mm-hmm. Just interesting thought though. What are we gonna do with all the population of the world? Now, I can tell you right now, COVID has killed about 5 million people. So there's room for 5 million more babies.
5 million babies? Ugh.
Yeah, 5 million people have died worldwide because of this damn P virus. So, plus the normal rate of mortality. So, like I said, there's room for maybe about 5 million more babies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Craig. I hope your Tuesday is good as well.
Yeah, I hope your Tuesday's good too. I can't stay heading out. Well, just wanted to say hello. Have a great day, all. Jump ahead.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much, Nix. Make sure you drop us a thumbs up.
Okay, Andrew's ready to come on.
Oh, cool.
Hello, Andrew. How you doing?
Hi, Michelle and Monica. Doing well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. So,
take care, Nick.
As I said a message in the NASQ support group is that I have a couple names that I kind of want to look up. As far as I know, Monica has full access to Ancestry.com, so maybe she can see if there's any records for 3 names. One of them is my grandfather, which originally was adopted by the Delaney family. His original last name was Mullenstad, and I'm kind of curious about the Mullenstad history, and the Delaney family kind of interests me too. But I have found that the Delaney line goes back a lot of twists and turns.
Michelle, what kind of name is Delaney? It sounds Italian almost to me at times.
Delaney. Yes, but the non-Catholic version is Delaney, which is means valley dweller.
All right, I think I pronounced your name wrong because a lot of people, sometimes I hear you say Delane and I hear other people say Delaney, so I'm not actually sure how you pronounce it properly. Delaney, okay.
Yeah. And I'm the first Catholics in my family in over 300 years. Yeah. Oh, well.
Well, the Mullenstadt definitely sounds German to me.
Yeah, Mullenstad definitely sounds German. I swear we think my grandfather was adopted. Herman Mullenstad was adopted at a very young age by the Delaney family, which, as I said, according to Norwegian lore, means valley dweller. It
Right. I was going to ask you,
actually
what does it mean?
also comes from, actually, I believe, also from the word Dale Valley, which means that there's also the British ancestry too. I'm like, what? How many different lines of ancestry do I got in my family? I have no idea.
Have you ever seen these shows? And this goes to you, Monica, and the chat as well. That it's usually a celebrity that comes on the show, and they'll go through their family history, and then they find out that their great grandfather was a mass murderer or something like that, or a career criminal, and they're like, "Oh right, damn! I wish I never looked into this now."
No,
Yeah,
but I do admit that would be kind of interesting to think about. I mean,
right,
which is something we were talking about in the general chat, which is the kind of crimes I'm interested in, which is mostly white collar and blue collar crimes.
Yeah, like fraud and stuff like that.
Fraud,
White collar, yeah.
embezzlement, insider trading. That stuff actually kind of interests me because it's like, who taught these people how to do that? I mean, like, insider trading is not exactly like something you learn out of a textbook. Although I'm sure Milken, the junk bond king, probably did write one when he was sitting in prison. Yeah. The sad ugly truth is overpopulation is occurring in the underdeveloped world. Undereducated countries, draw your own conclusions. Yeah. But the sad truth is a lot of those countries are also Catholic.
Yeah, the majority of countries in this continent are. Well, especially the southern countries like Spain and Italy and Portugal and all that sort of.
Well, actually, it's funny though. Italy has seeing a population's aging. They're not seeing as many babies being born. And the same is true with Germany, which now they're encouraging women to get their tubes reunited so they can basically procreate and have babies in Germany right now.
Right, okay.
So they can rejoin the tube, the fallopian tube, so they can have, get pregnant again.
Yeah, get pregnant again. Yeah.
So it's something to think about. I mean, but the South American countries and African countries, a lot of them, have big families because the religious organizations tell them that's okay, have more. I mean, we'll make more. Like almost like a Doritos commercial. You
also,
make all the babies you want. We'll make more food. Yeah, right.
And they don't have so much access to birth control in these countries as well. There's not as much education when it comes to birth control, all that sort of thing.
Well, that too, because the Catholic Church traditionally and still does kind of encourage
procreation.
Procreation. And the problem is at the same time, if you talk about, birth control in the Catholic Church, it's like you're gonna get looked at in a really bad way by the clergy. And I know that sounds kind of scary. It's true.
I would say at least 90% of them do it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes, especially, I don't want to offend anyone, but I think when it comes to that particular branch of, there's a lot of hypocrisy in most religions anyway. That you'll get this great leader that will say these things, and chances are they're doing the complete opposite,
Yeah.
Well, I think I've got planes flying overhead. Give me a second. As far as
the overpopulation, this is what we gotta get. We gotta get to other planets fast. Because if you ever look at what's happening to our planet, we're stripping our planet basically bare. People are not dying and being buried by natural means to re-fertilize the soil and become compost. And what we do is we just burn everybody to itsy bitty dust bear and grind them up and then throw that dust all over the earth. That's not really being green, is it? It's not.
No.
You're just, for it says, from dust you were made, yes, you shall return. Right. Well, I'm sorry, but burnt up moon fragments don't exactly fertilize the soil that well.
And there are a lot of places now that are becoming overpopulated. This sounds terrible to say, but overpopulated with bodies, because especially burial grounds. I know, and I've heard of people now being buried perpendicular, like as in upside down, to try and save space or make
Oh
extra
yeah.
space.
Well, the thing is when you put the body into a concrete vault full of formaldehyde, you're not exactly going to turn the body into compost. That's not a natural way of dying. That's
No,
not the
you're
way it's
preserving the
done.
body, really. Yeah.
I mean, that's just it. I mean, since the 19th century, we've turned. Well, actually, the Egyptians kind of started it, but they kind of we rediscovered the technique in the early mid 19th century with the preservation and the vaults and the caskets and everything else. We know that funeral homes and stuff are big money makers.
Oh yeah.
The business of dying is an expensive business, mind you. And the problem is, I really, when I go, I just want to basically, someone to wrap me up in a piece of burlap sack, throw me in the ground, and call it done. Okay, I've already served my time on Earth.
Sorry for laughing.
It is time for me to return my nutrients to the soil so that new life can spring forth. To me, that's just the way I see it.
No, I've often said, jokingly, but semi not jokingly, I like the idea of a crowd gathering at my funeral and me to be stuffed into a rocket, shot up into space and exploded, and everyone to cheer and clap and give me a massive round of applause. Probably costs a lot of money. It probably wouldn't be allowed, but you never know.
Yeah,
Sure.
I believe one of the Star Trek stars. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, you go out. It's talking about going out with a bang. Put
his funeral remains into a spaceship, and then they scattered his dust among the stars. I don't know. By that time, the DNA is. By the time that you're cremated, it's like burnt up. It's like a burnt up rump roast. It's just not gonna.
Yeah, you're not gonna know what's happening.
It's not gonna have any DNA that's any viable for creating new life. It's just gonna be. It's not a good way to go, because you're just gonna basically not be giving anything back to the universe. I like to give back. I like to return favors to the earth. Okay. You put up for me for, 70, 80 years. I think it's time for me to return the favor, and put my nutrients back into the soil for the next generation.
Yeah, you're giving back to... Sorry, Monica, I've been chatting off. On you go.
You're okay. Go ahead. You're fine.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I do like the idea of giving back to the earth what you've taken from the earth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, because
I just wanted to...
It's related to what we've been talking about in my book, too. What we've been reading.
I didn't want to overlook what Gianni said. It's pretty interesting. According to my mother, my great-grandfather was a grave robber in Glasgow. Moved to Canada and snuck into the U.S. through there.
Wow. That's quite a background.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want to overlook it. It was a good comment.
Yeah. Natural berries.
Very interesting.
Yep. How you doing, Charlotte? Top of the morning to you, or afternoon in your case. Yeah, natural berry is the way to go. Because then you can return to the soil or the materials that you borrowed. And notice I said the word borrowed.
That's right.
Because we live in what they call a closed loop system. We don't. That's the reason why we got to be careful when we start going crazy with spaceships. And all those satellites that they're launching for Starlink, all those low Earth satellites. I personally, has anybody ever sent a recycling crew up into space to actually sweep up and collect all this space junk? I mean, there's so much of it that they should just basically do the equivalent of sending. If you remember the character there from Spaceball, Mega Maid, right? They need to send a Mega Maid up, not to suck out the atmosphere, but to suck up all the crumbs of space rockets and stuff like that, and then bring the bits and itty bitty pieces back to Earth, and then see if they can recycle them and make them into new stuff. Because it's getting really, really kind of dicey up there for astronauts, having to figure out where all this space junk is so they can avoid hitting it. Because at the velocities that stuff is flying by their ship, it's almost like getting hit by a bullet.
What would we do with the space junk? I mean, what would you recycle it into?
Well, how about more spacecraft, or making it into maybe products that we can use here on Earth. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't be recycling. I mean, I don't have anything against recycling at all. But leaving, I don't like landfills either, but I understand that there are some things that landfills are good for, is making compost. But unfortunately, it's compost mixed with things that are not compostable, okay? But in the case of the space, please don't turn space into another garbage dump, okay? Come on. It's time to pick up your garbage. You know?
Leave it to Americans to litter space too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we're not polluting this Earth or where we are now, we're probably doing the same to space in the nearest vicinity anyway, at least.
Yep.
Yeah. Doing pretty good, sir. Like I said, that's good not to have it in your family and figure out. My folks have theirs all planned. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I said, you know, I don't want to be burnt to a crisp. That's one thing I would be totally adamantly against. Some people think cremation's great. Yeah, you know what? Cremation's great. Yeah. You want to see what a burned up? You want to see what a rump roast looks like? You left it in the oven for way too many hours, and it's all crispy and burnt and unedible, and all the good meat's gone. That's exactly what you'd be doing when you cremate somebody. You're left with some little bits of, stuff and some bones that they crush up. So what you're looking at is the dust from the bones that survived the high heat, 2,500 degrees Celsius. Come on. Pollution alone. You got scrubbers on those plants and those crematoriums specifically for that reason. What's wrong with just basically just rubbing me, as I said, in a burlap sack, throw me a hole in the ground, and call it done?
Yeah. Here's a question, Michelle. I don't know much about, or anybody else. When you are cremated, do the teeth survive, or?
Yes.
I don't know. Right,
there's some of the bones, and any things like gold or silver in the teeth, or amalgams, those are recycled and melted down. So, yes, that stuff is recycled. You don't think the crematorium's going to want to give up on some free silver teeth and gold teeth, do you?
No.
You're dead. So, it's just like anyone picking through the garbage, pretty much.
Checking your mouth for gold. Okay, I'm having that one.
The gold and silver that they collect, for example, was used to help make things like some of the more responsible ones is used to help invest towards making the crematorium urns. But most of the time they're just kept. They can't melt them down and then cash them in for gold and silver bullion coins. That's pretty much.
You wonder why funeral directors make so much money.
Yeah. The funeral directors make so much money because they also realize, well, you're going to be coming to me someday.
True.
Everybody does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, funeral directors make a fortune. The funeral business is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's also an industry that unfortunately has become extremely environmentally unapologetic to the earth.
Right.
I mean, formaldehyde, embalming fluid, caskets made out of non-recyclable material, concrete vaults. When you die, you're not even recycled, and you're just totally. It's like you're entombed, and it's stupid, but it's true. I bet if you, some people talk about the graveyards. First of all, here's a reality: if you were a green burial, the graveyards would not be saying we're renting out a room, because the graveyards would you'd be seeing as the body slowly decompose into topsoil. Because you'll see that where your grandma was, it's where the little mound flattens out and she turns into compost. In the case of some states, like in Washington State, they also have a way to help speed up the process for composting, which makes sense when you think about it. What's the difference? It's not much different. It's still composting. It's just speeding up the process a bit. All the artificial limbs and stuff are recycled and separated, from the finished topsoil, and then let's see what else. Yeah, so they're recycled, and it's a better way to go. At least you're not going to be having all the toxic metals being in the ground with the body. And it's bad enough that the human body, is it's got, because of medications and prescriptions, it's got a lot of toxic stuff in this already. But
yeah, because a lot of medications and drugs can stay in your system for a hell of a long time after death. Because sorry to bring this up, Michelle, it'll be a quick one-off. Charlotte will know the story. It was a story of Dr. Shipman, and he killed 250 people about 20 years ago. He was a doctor, and basically they had to start exhuming the bodies months, sometimes a few years later, just to try and pinpoint exactly what drugs he'd given these people, and they were still finding the drugs that were in their systems for a heck of a lot longer than they were buried,
Oh yeah. And of course, thanks to modern burial techniques, you'll probably find them in the systems for many, many, many more centuries. Because the fact is, the systems actually allow the drugs to remain intact because of the embalming systems that we do today. Whereas if it was a natural composting burial, that would have been hard to find that because you'll be looking more like topsoil. Yeah, I guess that's the only good reason why, if we're doing with modern burials, they're set for criminal reasons. Oh, like, did this person really die from arsenic? Did this person really die from ingesting, cyanide or whatever? Yeah, I guess it could be good for criminal records, but when you cremate it, you ain't gonna have any of that either, because like all the drugs have been destroyed by the heat of the crematorium process.
And that's why a lot of people that, say for example, this guy, they insist that they were cremated instead of buried. So basically, you're getting rid of a lot of potential evidence, by cremating people.
Right, exactly.
But I'll drop the subject now, Michelle, because I know you're not.
Well, I guess this is kind of related to the true crime thing you guys like to talk about so much. Well, how about something a little more down to earth, maybe more exciting? What is insider trading? How is it done? Why is it done? Well, we know why it's done. It's because you make money.
Yep.
It's like knowing it's called insider trading because for example, stock market's gonna go up or stock market's gonna go down, and then again, you know it's gonna go up. You buy a couple thousand shares while the price is still low, and then when it goes high, then you sell it. Especially if you think it's gonna go back down again,
Well, I think the motivations for a lot of that sort of thing differ as well. A lot of it's down to greed. Well, big part of it's down to greed. A lot of it's down to just the general psyche of people, that they think it could be almost a thrill of getting away with something like that. And I think you mentioned something on Discord, something about why do they do it? Are they self-taught or are they taught by somebody else? I think it really is a combination of a lot of things. But they've maybe been in the business for so long, they see the ins and outs and they know how things work. And over years, they sort of plan it in their head. But I don't know. I don't know what really is the general motivation. I would still say greed is probably the general motivation for it.
Yeah, but my personal opinion in the case of insider trading, is it really a crime? Is it really a crime? Because it's like, if you know that the market is gonna go up, I mean, is it any worse than a gambler knowing that the horse is going to win the Belmont Stakes? I mean, it's. I guess you could say it's a crime, because maybe if he knows the jockey, he knows the trainer, and he knows what they've been doing to get the horse's performance up for the Belmont Stakes. Yeah, I guess you could say that's insider gambling, I guess. But
right, which happens a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens a lot. You handicap the horse or the dogs based on, their price record. Same thing with the stock market. Right now, for example, there are people having hedge bets on what's going to happen with the stimulus checks. I can tell you, looking at the trends analysis, that it looks like there will be indeed another stimulus check. But like Blind the Billionaire said, is it going to be called a stimulus check or EIP? Okay. Emergency Impact Payment, EIP. Or is it going to end up becoming like a tax credit? Like the adult tax credit. The ATC versus the child tax credit, the CTC. Well, I'm sure that the government realizes that impact payments, everybody likes the impact payments, right? But the impact payments, they seem to think that they should go to everybody. Okay, everybody, not just certain everybody's. The people who needed it the most are the poor. They benefited most from the EIP. The well-to-do, not so much. So they got a $3.5 trillion American Families Plan. I think they changed the name of it again. I'll call it the American Families Plan because that's what I know it as. Okay? This bill is a pipe dream. It is a $3.5 trillion goodie bag. I mean, of all kinds of things. But I really don't know if it can be sustainable to keep going out there and sending out $3.5 trillion goodie bags constantly. But the one thing that I'm not seeing is the one program, like we mentioned yesterday, they really need to do is get the people on Social Security, disability, retirement, RRB, that's Railroad Retirement Board, the Veterans Administration, SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income. They need a cost increase. They need a minimum wage increase of their own. Come on, $5 an hour per person making $794 a month.
Yeah, I know what you
for
mean.
working for equivalent of a 40-hour work week. Now, maybe back in 1986, that was considered great. But the truth is, it's crap. Okay, they really need to adjust it for reality inflation. And I'm sorry, 6.1% COLA is not going to do it. Okay, easily it should be 16% COLA to make up for the inflationary trend and all the back money that really they long ago justly deserve it increase to an equivalent of $11 an hour. There is no reason why we shouldn't be giving people with disability $11 an hour equivalent. This is just they live way below the poverty line. Why does the government think that that's okay? But yet they want to give workers, 10, 11, 12, 13, $14 and up. I don't understand this.
It's like these big bankers with their bonuses. It just seems to be. It's always been like that, though. I think, Michelle, you get these big bankers. They get massive pay increases, massive bonuses, and yet nothing
the
really
actual
seems to
bank
change in
teller
that
probably
department.
doesn't get much of a bonus at all.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
But the disability, those people, even in your country under the WPA, the Workers' Pensions Administration, they don't get much. You guys get maybe better than us because you guys get access to medical care through the NHS. You get access to maybe subsidized housing in some cases, what you call the estates. At least they do in the UK, in England. Yet, where in the United States, you have to basically bust your tail to find all these programs.
Right. Why do you think that is?
I think part of the reason is because America is saying is you got to be a go-getter. I hate to say it, but there are some people that have already got up and gone. There is no more go-getting. Some people have literally have fallen into a level of despair that they don't even think that anybody cares about them at all. They feel dehumanized. Because the system turns you into a zombie. The Forsaken. I am forsaken. No kidding. You're disabled. You're forsaken. You don't get the help you need. You don't get the support you need. Like, you can't even get medical care. You can't even get dental care. Need hearing aids? No, guess what? You're not gonna get those. You need dentures? You're not gonna get those. What if you just need to replace a couple of teeth? Sorry, it's an all or nothing proposition. Well, it doesn't have to be. It would be damn cheaper just to replace the one tooth that's missing than to rip out all of them out at one time and give a poor person a set of synthetic choppers that just basically means mounting metal plates in their mouth and attachment points when you could have just replaced the one broken tooth instead of all the other good teeth.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know medical care here has been on the decline for about 30 years. And it's free if you go via the NHS, but it's really now pushed to its limits. And the current Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he is more inclined to start privatising things. In general, if he had his way, he would have a very similar system to what is over there.
Well, I mean, privatizing things can be fine in some cases, but when you take it too far, and medical care, like I said, one doctor wanted me, because he was an orthopedic surgeon, he wanted me to sit in his waiting room and fork out $110 to sit there in his waiting room to listen to his Baroque music. I was like, say what? Doctor, I don't mind the idea of actually, if you're paying you $110 if you physically saw me. But I don't have insurance, so trying to tell me I have to come up with money I don't have is not a way to do it. I told him maybe if I get a stimulus check, maybe I could have done it. But no, I don't have that kind of money in my back pocket to give you $110 just to sit there listen to your Baroque music in your waiting room, just to tell me that you're going to make me a big giant estimate. Look, if I went to an auto mechanic and he says to me, well, I'm going to have you sit in my waiting room and you'll be paying me $110, and then after you pay me the $110, I'll look at your car and give you your estimate. What? You kidding me? Do you really want my business? Probably not.
And then you find out that your car has more problems than you thought it did. So it's like what we have here. Every so often you have to put your car in for a test. It's called an MOT, and they'll suddenly find this was wrong with it, that's wrong with it.
All of a sudden, you come back with a laundry list of things that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
Well, your brakes are bad. Well, your CV joints are bad. Your universal's bad. Your radiator's bad. Your water pump is bad. your electronic control ignition system is messed up. Blah 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 blah, and all of a sudden it'll be about $3,000 to fix all of it, and then he doesn't fix half of it, and then it's no wonder why your car runs like garbage. And they come back and they say, "Oh, we got to change this part. Oh, we got to change another part." And all of a sudden, he puts you on a treadmill of replacing pieces. And it's the same thing with the doctor, because my landlord broke his wrist. He went to the doctor 3 times, 3 surgeries, and he still can't freaking fix his wrist. Holy crap! I know the wrist has got a lot of bones in there, but don't you think with modern medicine that they would have figured out where to fix the bones in the first place? And so I wonder if the doctors are just milking him for money. I mean,
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
But just like a dishonest mechanic, right?
It's like when we go to the dentist, and dentists are expensive here as well. Even for the most minor procedures now, a lot of them, I've heard they'll actually give you unnecessary X-rays for things that they've already looked at previously. So that costs more money on top of what you already know.
Right.
You know, so they'll just say, "Oh, we're going to give you an X-ray just to double check from last time." Well, nothing's changed in terms of the pain, so you really don't need to give me another X-ray.
Yeah.
They'll say, "Oh no, we'll just do it just to make sure," and then that gets added onto your bill. And
so like, well, you go get your X-rays or AKs, you call them radiograms, and all of a sudden you find out, geez, nothing changed. You know, but for like my poor landlord, I mean, the orthopedic surgeon milked him, and he still has can't use his right hand. What kind of a crap is this? You would think after 3 surgeries, you would think that he would gain some mobility in his wrist. He can't use his wrist. What did the guy fix? Nothing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. He still can't use his right hand. He's right-handed. This whole world is up, and he never learned to use his left hand. He can't write with his left hand. He can't do anything with his left hand. I'm ambidextrous. I can even write with my left hand if I choose to. It just takes me a little longer, but I can write with my left hand too. But the thing is, I'm lefty, except I write with my right hand. But I can also use my right hand too as my left hand. Because as I said, I'm mostly ambidextrous. But I don't understand the medical implications for these doctors that do this on purpose. I'm talking about the ones that don't it on purpose. The ones that tried and just didn't give the right diagnosis, they tried, but they gave the wrong one. Okay, fine, I'll give you a little bit, cut you a little slack. But the ones that know better, they're the ones that are screwing the poor patient. And the patient's going, but gee, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I don't know. That's a great question, because I don't have a clue.
The skunk keeps saying one day we will have robot doctors. In a way we do, but still the doctors are still controlling those robots. But would you rather be treated by a robot or an actual human being?
Well, all I know is maybe it's karma, definitely. I don't disagree with that. Yep. Just like when they fall and broke my kneecap was actually karma in its own way too. We already went through that with Soup Kitchen Pete and all that. Even if it really wasn't a true story, it doesn't matter. There is karma because a lot of people have become injured under my work unintentionally. My job is a dicey job. You're the North American snow queen. People fall and slip on ice every friggin' day. It's
Don't make it too cold this winter, Michelle.
Well, this winter, unfortunately, is going to have to make up for all the lack of snow in the Sierra Nevada. So, yeah, it's going to be... It's more or less only going to help mostly the Eastern U.S. It looks like Trends Analysis show. But maybe we can try to send some snow westward. It all depends on El Nino and La Nina, how it's going to fall.
Well, this winter past here, say January and February, were extremely cold. But they were quite dry. They weren't too snowy. It was just mostly dry and cold. There wasn't much like precipitation or anything like that.
Right.
February was terrible. It was really, really cold, -28 a few times. which is fine. But the problem when you live out with the city, the council and all the departments, they don't treat the roads, so it's a lot of cost.
Gabe,
And
I'm
a lot of
sure
people
that
were
you
put
probably
down to COVID.
realize that's one of the reasons why dentists get paid so much, just like morticians. Okay, when you have to deal with rotting and decayed bodies, or if you're coroner, same thing. Have to deal with people that may have been hurt in gunshots, and then have to identify people who died from diseases as a coroner, but that's where they make the money. It's just like Matt Groh said, dirty jobs are everywhere. Dirty jobs are the ones that pay. You want a clean job doing YouTube, hosting a channel? You're not going to make the same kind of money. You want to, if you can stomach emptying septic pits and doing that stuff, hey, more power to you. You'll make more money than I can make in a single day, than I can make in a single year.
Right. Dab, yep, exactly.
Yeah. I love watching Pimple Popper. I'm not really into that, but the point is, I know that the medical community has people that are dedicated to what they do. I wouldn't have the nerve to do that job, but just
yeah, I considered popping the blister I had a few weeks ago. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
I just do. I do it my own. I don't do it anyone else's. Okay. Garbage men don't make good money. Excuse me? You kidding me?
Do okay.
The refuse guys, trash man makes very good money, mind you. Especially private trash haulers. They make great money.
That dog in next door is annoying. Sorry. You hear that dog?
Yeah.
It's not mine, it's next door.
I mean, I can't believe that people don't think that they make money on that. They certainly do. And,
yeah, they do okay for what they do. You know, they make good money for what they actually do. I mean, let's put it this way, Michelle, and anyone else. Would you want to do that job? You know, like if you had a choice of other jobs, it's like people that go down to the sewers and clean out all the stuff down there. I mean, that's
yeah,
you know,
yeah, the fatbergs.
Someone's got to do it.
Or someone put too many handy wipes down the sewer. Ew. No.
Yeah, you get all sorts down there. You watch these shows on TV and they find like nappies or diapers, when you call them.
Yeah, and then I wonder why the pipes get clogged, especially in London sewers, which, of course, were hand dug. And yeah, you also have to deal with the fact that you got bricks that are kind of starting to come out because of the sulfur is eating at the concrete, and so they have to reattach bricks, and the great stink. Was what got people in London interested in getting a septic system in there, which is still the same septic system is still in use today in London after the great stink.
Is it true, Michelle, that you have crocodiles in the sewers?
I don't think we have them in Connecticut, but we have found alligators in some of our lakes. So alligators are starting to come up here to Connecticut. Sometimes they're pets, and then they get loose, and then they end up continuing to grow and stuff. So I don't know about crocodiles in the sewers in New York, but there are certainly rats, big rats, mean rats. And the New York City is like a rat capital of the world. That's one of the reasons why New York have all been given up on pesticides, and have said have recruited an army of cats because they're cheaper anyway. Everybody likes their muggies. You know, they're a little bit soggy from being in the rain. They figure, well, why not? Cats will do the job. Just feed them. Fix them. Give them the shots, and the cat will just do the job because they enjoy it. That's what they love to do. So in New York City now has recruited whole platoons of cats just to go through and catch as many rats and mice as they can get. Because you know what? There was another job in the Victorian area that was not very popular. The ratter. The rat catcher. Nobody liked being a rat catcher. They actually have personal experience of dealing with rats. And finding out how vicious the rat can be, especially when he's cornered.
Yeah, rats can be, and they can give you a nasty bite, not to mention all the other diseases that they carry as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that the rat catcher was probably using poisons that today we would find illegal, like arsenic and strychnine and things like that. But, that was what they had to use because that was the effective poisons at the time.
It works, yeah. But unfortunately, it can work in humans just the same way.
Yeah, the same way. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell. Mice, New York sucks.
They turned into turtles from some radiation or something like that.
I booted one before. Well, okay. Yeah, but you're talking about an individual rat. The cities, the sewers don't just have one. They gang up on you. They work as a team. I've seen this. Where rats actually will work together. But they also will turn on each other also. Especially if there's a female rat in heat and you got 3 or 4 male rats. And the next thing you know, 3 or 4 male rats are fighting for who's going to get her pregnant. And they can be very brutal. And you talk about dog-eat-dog world, honey, that ain't nothing compared to rat world. Rat world is more like the human race, the rat race. It's the same thing. 3 men, 1 woman, somebody's going to win. 2 men are going to lose, period. In the case of the rat world, 1 rat's going to win, the other 2 rats are going to be dead or maimed. And then they'll die eventually of injuries.
These jobs pay, I would imagine, good money. It's like when you see people that go and, I watch a lot of wasps exterminator videos, like or hornets or yellow jackets or bees. And I personally couldn't do it. Even with all the protective gear on. Because no, my luck, I'd have a hole in one of the arms or something like that. Especially dealing with the
Africanized honeybees. The Africanized honeybees are no fun.
Yeah, because no, my luck, I'd have a tear in one of the arms and they'd all get in. And then, oh well.
And they make crappy honey. And on top of that, the Africanized honeybees make crappy honey anyway. They don't even make good honey.
Have you ever seen that Japanese wasp? It's like the biggest wasp in the world.
The murder wasp.
Japan. Oh my god! I tell you, if I even seen one of them within 500 yards, I'd be.
I haven't seen too many super-sized insects, but except for the one cockroach, I actually grabbed onto with my finger. It actually grabbed onto my hand. It was like, "Hey, I want to go for a ride." Okay, I flung him into the apartment next door.
I just hate them. I think people that
you should have heard the Latina scream. She saw the size of that cockroach. Oh my god! She was screaming in Spanish like there was no tomorrow. That was a Willamanic. Yeah.
They'll pick up a wasp nest with their hands and just get rid of it. And I think to myself, these guys must have balls of steel.
Yeah.
I'm not really I don't mind spiders, snakes, anything like that. But when it comes to those things, no.
My attitude in life about the insect and snakes is you stay to yourself, you're keeping your ecological niche. You don't come bug me. I will quietly let you stay there and go habitate with me. But the minute you start trying to get into my gear, trying to get in my life, trying to bug me is when you're gonna get it. But if you quietly just mind your own beeswax and don't pester me, especially spiders. I'll leave the spiders alone.
Yeah, spiders are fine. I don't mind.
Spiders can catch houseflies. We sometimes get black flies. This year we haven't had any black flies. We had a few midge ones, but they weren't really much to deal with. I'm talking about the big ones, the big black flies, ones that just buzz around you and just you can't smash them no matter what you do. You know, like especially when you're sleeping, bzz, 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 they're flying on you like they're worse than an alarm clock. Cause like you're trying to swat them, you're like half asleep, bam, 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 and it's just like bzz, they'll land on your nose. You try to smack your nose, ow! Because you missed the fly, but he actually smacked your nose, so now you're waking up with a nose pain, and then you're like, and it's still buzzing on your head, bzz, bzz, and you're trying to swat him, and you can't, and then finally you just get him. Oh, fuck this! You're up, and then But this year I noticed something really weird. Not just the flies, but where's the birds? We lost a lot of birds in my area. There used to be a lot more birds in the park. Where did they all go? Maryland, they were finding birds were dying or blinded with some kind of an eye infection. What the hell? What's going on with that?
Don't tell me there's another new disease going to start spreading around the place.
Yeah,
we've had enough, Michelle.
Yeah, that's not affecting humans, but it's still, it's something serious to think about. If something is affecting the songbirds, the blue jays and stuff, what's going on here? And the bird specialists are like, we don't know what this is. The same thing with the white-nosed bat fungus. What the heck is all this stuff that's killing all these animals? It's weird. I just don't understand this. What's killing them all?
Yeah, cockroaches will survive every single thing known to man. And beast and insect.
No, actually, Mythbusters prove they will not survive hard radiation.
They might grow larger.
Yeah. They will not survive hard radiation. They tested that.
It's my next door neighbour, Charlotte.
My cat's
He's got it outside, and he just leaves it outside there.
Reasons. Okay, I guess those are the flying bugs, yeah. Squirrels are edible rats. People eat rats too, by the way. Yeah. Whose dog is barking?
Oh, it's my neighbour's.
That's one of his neighbour's dogs.
Yeah, he just lets it out and just lets it run about and bark and annoy people.
Weird thing is
it's a German Shepherd.
Name as my cat. Okay, so they named the dog the same name as your cat. So it's a female.
Yeah,
it's a female dog, but she's got your cat's name.
It was very
so if you call your kitty to come in, the next thing the dog starts barking, saying, "Here I am, here I am, here I am."
Yeah, because when you hear the guy next door, you shout on the dog.
Well, it's just like there was a maintenance guy working for my landlord named Rusty, and I called my Rusty, and this redhead guy come up. You called me? No, I called my cat. Oh. He said, my name's Rusty too. I said, oh, okay, Rusty. Sorry about that. I was calling my cat Rusty.
I'm just thinking of some of these people that name their dogs the most ridiculous of names, like Daisy or Honeybell or something like that. And I'm sorry, I will not be walking a dog with a name like that.
Well, Daisy's not a bad name for a dog, or even for a girl, actually. I mean, Daisy's fine. Or June. You know,
honey, where are you? It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, I named Rusty because Rusty's a man's name, and he was a rusty-colored cat. He was a sand-colored cat, so I call him Rusty because it made sense. I mean, there are people who name their cats strange names that you wouldn't even give your own son or daughter. I wanted to give my cat names that were something similar to you would find like in a son or a daughter, you know. I mean, let's see. We had Alyssa. We had Tabia. Tabia was kind of a hybrid name because it was she was a tabby cat, so a small tabby cat. So I called her Tabia, which means small tabby. Okay,
right.
Female name. And then we had Rusty. We had Morris. We had We had names that were kind of cat-like. Corn Puff. We had Cream Puff. We had Fluffies. They had like 2 Fluffies. Ray the Stray. Ray the Stray was a Maine Coon cat. We had a few names that were kind of, because some of the cats came to me as stray cats, and they just ended up having our prior names. My sleeping pattern is so messed up that ATM, I think it was dinner.
Monica, you still there?
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, sleeping patterns over here, like Ed's sleeping patterns is messed up. He went to bed at 7 in the morning. He was up in the kitchen using the computer all night. Thank God I put the computer in the kitchen. I said, take it to the kitchen, please. You take the laptop in the kitchen because I don't want you to sit there in the cooler in the kitchen. Don't come here and sit here in the desk and flap your tongue all night long when I'm trying to sleep. I got to sleep.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep last night. Monica thought she'd actually woken me up on Discord, and I was like, no, I was awake already, so...
Yeah. So how did you sleep last night, Monica?
I slept okay. I slept pretty good. So good that I woke up about 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
I'm a little edgy. I'm trying to quit smoking, so it's fine, Andrew. You can run the show with Michelle today. I don't want to be grumpy.
Actually, Ed does watch Pornhub at night. Yeah, but that's fine. He's certainly of age. He's over 21. He can watch all the porn he damn wants. Okay, I don't care. Just don't force me to have to sit there and watch it with you, because he doesn't make me watch it with him. But Charlotte said I got a few hours sleep, stayed up, and then slept this morning. Wait, yeah, I've done that. Right now in this hot weather, I've been sleeping all kinds of crazy hours, just trying to find the best time to get things done. I haven't played World of Warcraft for beans because the fact is it's either too hot and I'm feel kind of unmotivated. But it's now, by the way, let's talk real quick about the World of Warcraft scene, because Blizzard has shut down World of Warcraft development.
What?
Blizzard has shut down World of Warcraft development.
Why?
Because it's not making money like it used to anymore. First of all, Blizzard, let me give you one thing that Blizzard didn't think about. Honey, it's not the game. It's the fact is that the development team has run out of inspiration. They need to take a look at what I'm writing for story, and they could turn that story into a game that could easily revive the World of Warcraft franchise.
I think the biggest problem
is a whole nother level of World of Warcraft where it's not involving just doing dungeons and raids, but as a way to educate and to share a growing experience, a learning experience. That's what they need to do. They got to change the way that they do the story, because they're using the same old formula. It's like putting lipstick on the same damn pig. Forget putting lipstick on the same damn pig. Time to get a new pig. And that's what I think. They need to come up with a better idea for the program. Otherwise, they're going to just basically keep losing subscribers.
I think the biggest problem that killed EverQuest in World of Warcraft is it's too hard to get to endgame.
It's too hard to get to endgame because they keep changing the end goalposts.
It's just too hard to level that far. It's too hard to get there.
Right.
Even if they just keep adding content, I don't mind the content. Well, EverQuest had didn't recycle stuff. Seems like World of Warcraft recycled stuff, but still, if it was easier to get there and enjoy it, then people would do it. They just make it too hard. It's going to happen to all the MMORPGs eventually.
Yes, it does happen to all of them because it's the same old routine. It's the treadmill. Once you start on that treadmill, it doesn't end. And the thing is, the thing that bothers me is, like I said, with the MMORPGs in general. I said in general, not specifically any particular one. It's the same old formula. It's not going to change anything. Because once you've done raids, once you've done dungeons, once you've done quests, and it's all you do, you don't really get to know anything about the backstory of your race. Now, with the Exile's Reach and World of Warcraft, you learn even less, for example, about the Cinderai than you do when you were doing the quest line in Sunstrider Isle. You know even less about it. You don't. So you say, oh, they're cute, right? So you decide to sign up this your first character in World of Warcraft. All of a sudden, now you go through the Exile's Reach. You don't know anything about your character. You don't know, for example, what a Cinderai is. You don't know the heritage. You don't know the backstory. And next thing you know it, you go through this Exile's Reach training session, which is great. Okay? It's great. Yeah. But the truth is, you don't know anything about your people. Monica was going to call. Okay. I was going to quit smoking, but stupid people pissed me off. Too bad. I already go nuts on someone. I don't know anything about smoking because I don't smoke, but I know about tobacco addiction, though, so I can say, yeah. Right now, I'm trying to save my money because I gotta get my hair done. I got just about enough tobacco to last me until the beginning of the month, but that's about it. And that's running really, really tight, small wads. Very small little wads. I don't know how small they are as far as weight, but they're tiny because I'm trying to hold out without having to buy another can as long as I can. But that's not going to hold out for very long, so I might as well buy another can of tobacco because I'm going to need it soon. Put the patches over your eyes so you can't find your cigs. That doesn't work. Another thing that bothers me is there's an idiot. He keeps closing the door to the porch. I open the door to the porch to get some air in here, and one of my neighbors thinks it's his God-given responsibility to close the door to the porch. And he already closed the door on me. I see Rusty's in the house. That's good. He's over there laying by the other camera. But my God, man, does anybody realize it is warm enough outside? The heating is not on. You don't have to close the door to the porch. There's no flies coming in here because we haven't even seen any this year. There's not a reason why the door should be closed. Unless this guy is doing something illicit and he basically doesn't want anyone to smell him smoking something illegal or something. I don't know. It's just kind of stupid. Yeah, I use tobacco.
You don't smoke it too much, do you?
No, I don't smoke. I just never, because I have to be able to breathe. I have asthma, so I don't think smoking on top of that asthma would be a good idea. Where is Rusty? I cut back quite a bit on it, but I still use a little bit of smokeless tobacco now and then.
Smokeless tobacco? How does that work?
Rusty's sitting by the other camera. Unfortunately, this cord is too short to show you where he is, but he's actually sitting in the other room, right next to the other camera. We're in the other studio.
Yeah, I think you were saying before, Rusty's a lot more.
I've been using tobacco since high school, guys. Yes, long time. Long time. But anyway, the point is like I said, is I'm just kind of vexes me that this one neighbor thinks it's his God-given responsibility to close my door to the porch. When he did all that, he doesn't even come up in there and ask me, say, "Excuse me, do you have this door open for a reason?" He doesn't ask me that. I wish he would, because I would be that. I would tell him nicely, "Yes, I have it open for a reason because I need to get some airflow in here because this place gets hot." And then it's summer anyway. There's no reason to worry about the door being closed. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I've had to close my windows in this room just now is because the dog next door is still outside barking and it's doing my brain.
It's doing my brain, yeah. How big is the dog anyway?
It's a German Shepherd, but it's not quite fully grown, so it's still a puppy. So I would say about 8 months old now.
Okay, so it's an 8-month-old puppy.
But it's grown fast. Every time I see it, I don't see it very often, but when I do see it, it's like it sort of gets bigger each time. So.
Yeah, I remember that story that Stoner put up about the poor guy that tried to break into a house and the dog basically molested him.
Sorry, I know it's a strange one to laugh at, but at least it wasn't the other way around.
Now he's suing the homeowner for the dog molesting him, even though he went in and was doing a breaking and entry by going through the dog door. Yeah. He finally called emergency services to get himself extricated and get him out of there. He's like, "Help me! I was going to rob a house, but I can't rob a house because this German Shepherd's doing something nasty to me."
Well, hopefully it teaches him not to go about robbing houses again. But
I hope not.
He's suing the owners, isn't he, for being molested by the German Shepherd? I can't believe I'm even saying those words. It's like, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, finally somebody reopened the door. I think they listened to me.
Sorry.
Like, come on. Leave the door open. It's free-ish, clean air. I can tell because I can see the door's open now. And like, yeah, I can't believe that there's somebody that, I mean, are you mad at the dog for doing it? Or are you mad at the guy for trying to break in? Or is it, I mean, is a dog now can be considered a sexual predator and have to be on the criminal watch list for being a predator? That's a good question. John B. Dog. Breed German Shepherd. Crime molesting a human being. Convicted of rape.
What sentence does Alsatian get? I don't know.
Trust me, I bet somebody would put him on the predator watch list or sexual offenders list because the poor dog was just trying to do his job in some ways to protecting his home in a way. That's what he was doing.
Well, all I'm glad is it's not the other way around.
Which I guess doing what he was doing was the only way to basically keep the criminal at bay. So, yeah. Well,
yeah, some of Dab's stories are pretty interesting and funny as well.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. There was a few I heard that were not so funny. I'm trying to think of one here. Oh yes, the one swimmer who basically or body lifter who basically a transgender male to female body builder that had to basically leave the Olympics because he lacerated a testicle. What? Why do you even have that? Just take them off. You don't need those. You're a female to male. What do you need those for? They're not going to give you estrogen. Take them off, and then you can start pumping more estrogen and get your, become more feminized even faster. Yeah.
And technically, that would give him or her, I don't know what you would say, an advantage over the athletes, which I don't think is fair.
Yeah. Advantage over the female weightlifters, deadlifters. Yes, I would give them an advantage. That's a whole nother area.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. this whole world is totally gone messed up. Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life on this planet.
Stop the boss. I want to get off. Yep. I feel like that quite often sometimes, especially lately.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, Michelle, since the ending of restrictions, we've now seen our 7th drop in infections, and it's a massive drop, which I personally don't understand. I'm beginning to think it's now herd immunity.
Do you think it's?
That's that.
You're starting to see a drop in the number of infections?
Yep, massive drop, and it's been for the 7th day now in a row.
Is
At the
that
start
primarily
of
because of the
last
vaccine, do you think, or is it just from
week,
people?
I think there's possibly a part of it that's to play in that, but I also think it's probably so many people have probably had this disease, and there's a combination of the two.
Yeah.
And as I say, in the last, it was like hitting 60,000. Now we're down to like 20,000, and it's been dropping every single day, big drops. So and that's without any restrictions. So you got to look into that what you will. Maybe it's come to a stage because everything like this eventually plateaus.
Because right
and
now the
drops off.
United States is like raging red Cajun right now. It's like
I've seen that.
Cases
yeah.
is a huge number of cases in the U.S. It's almost as bad as it was last year, and that was with all the lockdowns. And so we're seeing a huge number of cases in the United States. So I guess the point I'm going, because I don't want to get too much into this because YouTube is so hypersensitive about it. But
Absolutely,
to say is that I don't think they know what they're doing. Period. I don't think they know how to handle this. I think they unintentionally caused more harm than was intended. And that's all I'll say. But let me say one more thing, though, which is this, is that we are starting to see inflationary trends that is similar to what we saw in the 1970s during the Jimmy Carter era. I am very concerned when you start seeing inflation rate close to 20, potentially as high as 20% in the time of Jimmy Carter in 1976 to 1980. And especially right after the gas crisis. I'm like, God, I don't even know. I grew up in that era. I mean, I was just a little kid, but still, I was like, let's see, 1976. I was like 78. So it was like 8. In 1980, I was like 12. So there was just a lot of things. Gas went from like 35 cents a gallon to like $1.29, $1.30. And they thought that was the end of the world. Now I wonder what those people, if you were to transplant them from 1978 to 2021, and they saw price of gas at $3.40 a gallon, they probably would faint dead away. Bam.
Yeah, definitely.
But then again, I don't know what they would think about what we have with technology like computers and stuff either. But if you just show them the price of unleaded gasoline, I bet they would probably be like, "Oh my God, that's ridiculous."
I didn't know that until recently that the internet has actually been around since the 70s. But it wasn't made publicly available until I think 90 something. I'm not sure.
The internet was started forming around 1969. It was actually created originally as a way for military institutions to talk to each other, and then finally in the 1980s, the beginning of the TCP/IP stack was created. Prior to that, it was point to point, basically. So, and of course, we had to deal with computers that all had different protocols, and it was a Tower of Babel back then, not very organized like today. I mean, I've had to work with some of those ancient computers and talk about Tower of Babel, just to send something simple as a picture between different machines. Different video. I mean, forget video. There was no way to do video. That was just not going to happen.
Not then. It wouldn't have been. No.
Snapshots are about the best you could do, and they were crap. But people did it.
$5 a gallon. Wow.
5-gallon flow. I got a new Perkins place. Yeah, remember when Clinton said gas over $5 a gallon? Absolutely. Yes. Yep. Gas was at the price one time. Yeah, actually, I think Bob also had high gas too. Well, remember that. I got home movies that recorded on 16mm movies that showed the prices at the gas pump. And you looked at the prices back then, back when they moved in here, and you saw price like $5 a gallon. You're like, whoa, dude. Oh, this is.
Yeah. I walk.
that's scary. If someday, if I can get some splice the two films together, could put them on a 400-foot reel, maybe we could project the films onto the YouTube channel, and you guys could see some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Because I got a movie screen, I got a camera that shoots pretty close to standard. That's close to 24 frames per second. So we'd be able to look at the video clips from the film. It might be a little flickery, but you can definitely see the price of the gasoline and it was part of the Fireman's Carnival. And you'd be surprised, even though we shot them in black and white because that was the only film I could afford. I remember the frustration of trying to keep that camera wound up because it was a spring wound camera. That was a pain. 2 minutes of runtime. The reels only ran for about 2 minutes of film, so you didn't get a lot of time to record a lot of film. So you had to be very miserly.
Did you, in the days before the technological smartphones, did you do a lot of video recording, like in using a video camera or anything like that?
We didn't have a video camera. I mostly just had an Pentax K1000 single lens reflex 35mm camera. I shot a lot of film, a lot of rolls of film. I developed them in my own darkroom in the basement. And so I have a whole box at home of film, photos, negatives, all kinds of times of the year: snow, spring, summer, winter. And sometimes I would shoot film on my other cameras too, like my Kodak 620 and my Brownies, and I would send the films out to labs and get developed. And because I would do color film too. But I didn't develop my own color film. I did develop some color slide film. The film I liked to work with the most was Kodachrome. The problem was Kodachrome isn't made anymore. I think in 1973, when Paul Simon did the song Kodachrome, I think he ended up talking about the end, like what happened in the 2000s when Kodachrome was phased out. And Kodachrome really did have nice colors to it. Really did look good. You know, Kodachrome was the first commercially viable home, slide film that you could easily send to Kodak, get it developed, and boom, there you go. Back in the 20s and 30s, some of the early slides were Kodachrome. Home movies were Kodachrome.
So is that one of your main, or still one of your main sort of hobbies type of thing, photography?
Yeah, it's to do photography. HOA, Homeowners Association. What's this?
2 seconds, Bishop.
HOA, Homeowners Association, which is like a something I try to avoid very much in real estate. Stay away from the HOA. You don't want to deal with a homeowners association. They're nasty. They're worse than a council. They're gonna sit there. They're gonna tell you, for example, you can paint your house. What if you can have a rooftop antenna? If your lawn grass can only be so long, they're gonna sit there and pick you to death. and they can actually evict you out of your house and force you to sell or move your mobile home if they choose to.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, so when I was looking at houses on Zillow, I was specifically looking for houses or land that doesn't have an HOA, specifically for that reason. I don't want to do it a homeowners association. They're not worth it. They're not worth the monthly fee. They have a bunch of
Why?
NIMBYs tell you what you can and cannot do in your own house or in your
Yeah, I
own
was
land.
gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say the same.
Yeah.
I think it is something it's quite useful if you live in a big area, like a big suburb or something like that. You do have a group that can sort of address issues. Say, for example, oh well, this part of my road is not being done. We do have a lot of things like that here. Well, we used to anyway. A lot of groups that would sort of gather together, and they would have their own like association, same sort of thing, and then they would put their grievances towards the local city council or something like that.
Yeah.
The chances are you wouldn't be listened to anyway, but at least it was doing something, you know.
Yeah, but homeowners associations have gotten to be a real pain, and working with them because they got so much power in some communities that they actually have the power to force you out of your own home that you bought.
Right.
You know, I don't know how they do it. I mean, but they can. They can force you out. They can actually foreclose on your mortgage. And if you happen to have a mobile home or a modular home, they can tell you to take the whole house, lift it off the foundation, and take it elsewhere.
Yeah, Charlotte's mentioning a thing we have called neighborhood watch, which is like when people are meant to look out for their neighbors. Most of the time, neighborhood watch consists of people spying on their neighbors. It's another way.
Oh yeah,
another
neighborhood
version of it.
watch. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do because they're trying to avoid crime. There's nothing wrong with neighborhood watch in this concept. It's like self-policing. But the thing is that some of them really kind of go a little bit too far. Well, guys, it's time for me to get going for Meals on Feet. But wish me luck. There's going to be something decent for lunch. I will.
Hopefully, you get something good, Michelle, from the soup kitchen.
Yeah, well, yesterday there was food I could not eat because I'm allergic to mayonnaise. So I only got 2 for Ed, and I didn't get any for me. And which kind of left me kind of wanting a meal after that. It was like, please, can we have something that's edible for me?
Is it probably best if you like? Is it a case of first come first serve? Like if you get there early enough, you get the best things. If that makes sense.
No, they're making a whole bag of bag lunches all at once, basically. But
all right, so it's like everyone gets
hey,
similar.
if you come there when they first distribute them, at least you can guarantee your lunch is going to be warmer, which is fine.
Right, got you. Yeah,
I have a microwave. If I have to, I can always
warm
it
you
up.
can heat it up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had pizza last night. Thank you very much. I'm not in the mood for pizza, but well, yesterday I got a baguette bread, and some I had some butter, so I had a couple pieces of a French baguette, and then wet butter on that for lunch. And I guess it was better than no lunch at all, but yeah, it wasn't really that exciting. But I can't eat ham salad. I can't eat tuna salad. I cannot eat egg salad. Especially, I cannot eat egg salad. That is toxic as hell. I cannot eat that. And I just said, no, I'm not going to go to the ER today. No, thank you. So I got that for Ed. But now the refrigerator is getting kind of bare. And of course, Ed, being the foodie he is, he's rightfully starting to whine a little bit, but the refrigerator being kind of empty. I'm sorry, but if anything, it's a good way to clean the refrigerator. Finally, you got to eat up what hasn't been eaten.
Clean it out.
So the refrigerator is getting kind of empty. So maybe it's time to go ahead and make some Dawn dish soap and basically take all the racks out, wash them out, clean them out, and then figure out when we go to the grocery, get some fresh food and put it in there. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
That doesn't make any sense for it to be considered racist. White bread is not racist. White bread is just a form of bread. That's it. You know.
Yeah, you brown bread, white bread.
Yeah.
Buy bread.
I don't like to waste food. That's one reason I only get just enough that we need. Besides, I got plenty on me. I'm already got a kind of a gut on me, so it's not exactly like I'm starving to death. Still, it's just another day of the week. You know what? We had a good show this morning. We had Monica didn't talk a lot. Does Monica want to say anything before we leave for today? Well, she's still muted, so. Well, let's see. How many people do we have? Right now, we're doing pretty good. We were at the peak this morning, and
you had
12
about
people.
15 people on at one point.
So, I mean, we did pretty good. We did have a peak of 12, which wasn't bad.
Okay, I thought I'd see more.
So, all right, guys. I'll see you later, Andrew. I hope you have a nice day.
Yep. Same to yourself. Thanks for having me on the panel. Yep. Appreciated.
Okay.
And I'll catch you guys soon.
Okay. Bye-bye for now. Okay, so everybody, I want to say thank you for being here. I gotta get ready to go get meals on feet, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm busy with my dad. It's okay, don't worry about it. All right, guys, I'm gonna go talk to you later. Stay out of trouble, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, which will be Wednesday, 10 a.m. like usual. We'll see what we can come up with a topic. All right, have a nice day, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.